Hello?
Hey,
Hey, how's it going?
good man. Very good, actually. Yeah, we have great weather in Oslo. Just got in from the beach.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Well, thank you guys very much for taking the time to do this interview.
Of course, and thank you very much for taking time to interview some random Norwegian guys.
Well, I'm glad to do it, and I'm really enjoying what you guys have done since the creation of the band, and it's awesome to see everything that's come your way now. I mean, of course, with being on Metal Blade Records, and now with the new record Deliverance coming out in just a little over a month now, on the 18th of September.
Yes, please.
Oh yeah, I've gotten the chance to be able to check out this album over the last few days, and again, I really love the sound that's coming off this. I mean, it sounds like the band just continuously gets stronger and stronger with every record, and just being awesome. Yeah, but you guys just keep getting stronger and stronger with every album. I love the variations that you guys do in your sound, and you never know what to expect from you guys, and I love that about it.
Oh, thanks. We never know what to expect when we were writing a song as well. So we don't. We are not very genre strict. So we do what we think is the right thing to do that day. It depends on the strain on the joint.
Oh, awesome. So with that said, what was it like working on this album to begin with?
Oh man, it's been a long process. To be honest, we've been writing. Actually, how many years have you been working on this? When we started writing Trigger Finger, like 4 years ago, I think. But something like that. It's a long time ago. But the rest of the songs, maybe 1.5 year, we started really working on it. Yeah. So it's been like haven't been like a process where we've been sitting down like, okay, now we're gonna re-record an album, now write an album. It's been more like, oh, I have a new song. Okay, cool. Yeah. Oh, we have a new song. Okay, cool. And then it ended up being an album finally. And that's maybe not been the best strategy to do it, because it's been a bit too far from the release from our debut album to when this album will be out. Yeah. So yeah, that's how it goes.
Yeah, and sometimes that's bound to happen too, but I think it's just so important to be able to write when creativity strikes, when you feel like you have the right songs that you want to be able to work on, and you want to be proud enough to be able to have those songs on record. So, it's like, obviously, a lot of bands want to be able to release an album every 2 to 4 years, but, the fact that you guys do take your times with the songs really shows that you want them to be the best they possibly can be.
Exactly, that's what I'm trying to tell our record label as like, okay, if you're pushing us to write an album and you give us a time period for a couple months, well, we will give you 10 songs, but they're probably not every song will be as good as they could have been if you I feel like you said, like, you can't always push creativity. No, let the creativity come, don't push it.
So with that in mind, was there like any particular moments on the album where that if you would have released the song right away, it wouldn't have turned out as good as it did on the record?
Oh, actually, we recorded the album 2 times. Yeah. So that must be the turning point when we decided, no, let's do it again. Let's change up the drums. And then also in the meantime, after the first recording, we made the two new songs, Deliverance and Ritual. And that was like the time when we realized, okay, we have to do this again. We have to get the same sound on the whole album. And also, I think those 2 songs are very strong on their own. So I'm glad we waited and did it the proper way. Yeah, so we basically have one soft version of the album that sounds more like the first album. Not so much double bass drums, not so much fast drum rolling, and a much clearer sound. But we were like, let's get dirty and go back to metal, because that's what's cool. Yeah. So that's what we ended up doing.
Yeah, and I was going to ask about that. When you mentioned redoing the drums, I mean, I love what you guys did with the drums the second time recording. I mean, just like hearing that double bass, a blast at the end of Paradigm, it's just like there's so many great fills and beats going on throughout the album, and I'm glad to see that actually make it through.
Hands up for Björn, the drummer.
drummer. He's a fantastic metal drummer. I would say easily one of Norway's drummers. And we have a lot of metal bands and extreme metal drummers in Norway. So hands up for this guy. Yeah, he's crazy good, and he made such a great vibe for the recording. He's also the drummer of Borknagar and Trollfest. So yeah, he's a good drummer.
Yeah, and I just hear that throughout the album too. And there's a lot to be said when you have the quality of a drummer like that with Bjorn for the rest of you guys as well too, because all of you absolutely shine throughout this album. On different songs, different sections. It's just like everyone's got their time to shine throughout the record.
We're trying to make it like that, so everybody can get do the thing they like to do on their instrument,
Yeah, and we tried to keep the instruments sounding real on this album, like not having like this super over-compressed drums that really doesn't sound like drums, and keep the sound so everyone can so you get the feeling that it's human beings playing. If you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, and that's another thing I do love about this album, just like everybody being able to shine on this record, but you can absolutely tell that actual people are playing on the album. I mean, it's not just something that was overdubbed or, just like picking out random riffs online or stealing something like that. I mean, it's absolutely you guys going into the record and playing everything in the song, and it's so great to hear that nowadays.
I fucking love this interview already. Thank you very much. That was the idea also, so you totally get it.
Oh, totally. And
I hope all the fans do it as well.
Yeah, I hope so as well. And again, going back to the drums, the fact that you did rewrite the drums and you were able to write 2 new songs, one of them being the title track of the album, so that actually really did benefit the album.
Yeah. Actually, Deliverance was like the intro, that theme. We made that. We used that in a song under a different band name
in 2014, I think.
Yeah,
we tracked it the first time.
And then our producer, I was really stoned with drunk and fucked up with our producer, and I was going through some old recordings from 2013, I think it is from.
Maybe.
And he was like, "Oh, we have to remake that song," and no, skip it. And we did it, and it ended up being such a great song.
I ended actually up making that song on one Sunday.
Yeah. That was a Sunday when everybody, that's really rare, that everybody is not hungover on a Sunday. So it was a good choice to stay sober that Saturday.
Oh, that's so cool. And yeah, I mean, again, just the way that everything's turned out on here. And, I gotta say again, when it comes to the album, I mean, besides the fact that you can hear what you guys are actually playing, the overall production of the album, I just love it. It does sound like a real band playing for that reason. I mean, when you got the mix and the master going on as well, you can hear everything that's going on, rather than something that's just overpowering everything else. It's like, if I listen for the guitars, I can hear the guitars. If I'm listening for the bass, I can hear the bass. I mean, it's great to hear that.
I have to say that hands up for this Greek guy of our Stamos Skoliosis, which produced the album and mixed and mastered it. He's such a genius, and he was really the one that was pushing us to hey guys, try be original. Don't try to sound like everybody else. Make your own sound. And we really got into that idea, and we did. So yeah.
Yeah, and I can absolutely say that, especially where you guys are at in Norway. I mean, I can't think of a band that surrounds you guys that sounds like you guys do. Just being able to have that real, natural sound that does sound different from everybody else, but it's so cohesive as well.
Yeah, we really hear a lot that you can't really point the finger of who we sounds like and what genre we are playing, and I think it's really hard to point that finger myself, and I think that's a good thing. Maybe hopefully people will like our style and don't think just what the fuck are these stupid Norwegian guys are doing.
Oh, that's so great. So with all this in mind, I mean, of course, with 2020 being such a ridiculous year for everybody that's going around, I mean, how does it feel to be releasing an album in 2020, considering everything that's come before it?
Well, we were actually thinking about delaying it, but then we thought, hey, what the fuck? We have a great album out, and so let's just continue the plan, and people, I guess, stream music when you can't
the concerts and stuff.
Yeah. So we decided to go with plan, release the album, and we almost have a new album ready for you guys. So that will be recorded later this fall. So yeah.
Well, it's great to hear that you guys are being that productive with all that time, too. I mean, the fact that we're talking about this album, it's going to be coming out in a little over a month, and you guys are already writing for the third album and already going to be going in and recording that. I love seeing that kind of productivity going on.
We have 9 songs now?
We counted it this weekend. I think we're up to 9 songs now.
Yeah, so...
It's getting there.
It's getting there.
With that in mind, like, how different is it from Deliverance as far as the songs are so far off that new one?
This is even more experimental, I think. Yeah. It's maybe more heavy and more catchy. So this will be an even better album.
Yeah, and it's just, I imagine that you guys are going to be able to win over a lot of people with Deliverance already, and when you're able to hook them in with that album, and the fact that you're going to be having the next album already ready once people are getting into it, that is such a great plan that, not necessarily the way it was supposed to go, but I'm glad that it did go that way.
Yeah, we've been, now Norway is, we've been out of lockdown for a while now, but it looks like we're going back to lockdown soon. But during the time, I think we ended up being in lockdown a couple months before you guys did, and so we've been writing like hell.
You're stuck in a room with your computer and your guitar, so yeah, you have to do something, and then ideas start flowing.
And we've been out to his cabin in the mountains, like with those crazy mountain views, and just being up there,
isolating ourselves, bringing all the equipment, and just not seeing anybody else, just sitting in there making music.
Just seeing big ass mountains and nice views, and making barbecues and having beers, and yeah, it's great.
I think that was this weekend. I think on Saturday we got up at 11, and I sat from 11 in the morning to 4 in the night.
Yeah.
The next day.
Yeah.
In the same chair, we were sitting there just doing it.
Yeah. But we climbed a big ass mountain for breakfast, so that was inspiring as well.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you guys were in such a inspirational and very peaceful area to just being able to relax and do what you need to do. And, in 2020, I mean, that's such a great thing to be able to have somewhere to go like that, where you can enjoy nature, you can enjoy being with each other, being able to get some work done, but really just being able to be yourselves.
Yeah, of course. And as Norwegians, I never did that too much, but like going into the big wild Norwegian nature and just being inspired by the
surroundings.
Yeah, surroundings is really cool. That's actually the first phrase of a new song for the third album. I'm surrounded by mountains. So yeah.
Oh, that's just so cool. I mean, being able to have that inspiration, thinking about the next album, and then going in and recording it, and of course with Deliverance as well too. I mean, I can't wait for people to be able to check this one out because there's so many great hooks that are going on throughout this album. There's so much good aggression, so many great left turns that you don't see coming. And it's funny because you look at the album cover and you see the simplicity of it, which I really enjoy, the gold and black, really with that simplified look. You wouldn't necessarily think it would go all the directions that you guys go in. So I like that kind of twist when you look about that visually going into audibly.
That's Lord's idea, and I think that was your idea.
It was. I actually made it up. Where were we playing? Yeah, we were playing in Slovakia. We were sitting on a Polish airport, and then I just had the idea to just reuse the same frame that we had for the debut album, just make it more obnoxious, I would say.
I don't know what that word means, but I guess
it means like it's a little bit gross, like doing the golden things.
Yeah, and I really like the simplicity idea as well. It's I haven't seen it yet, but I can imagine how it will look on vinyl, and I think it will look cool.
Oh yeah, yeah, especially when you get that on vinyl and being able to see that. I think that's just gonna be such a cool sight to look at, and I think that gold's really gonna stand out when you get the vinyl too, and seeing how it shimmers and darkens. I think that's gonna be really cool.
Yeah,
I'm really looking forward to seeing that one. I think we're gonna get it maybe in a couple of weeks now.
Hopefully, yeah, probably.
So, thinking about that, thinking about the time that you guys have spent in 2020 and already working on the next album, what was it like, during these times, when you have all this time to be able to work on the next album and you want to be able to take that time to do it? Did you feel like any pressure, or were the songs just like coming out naturally?
I think, for the third album, you mean now?
Yeah.
Yeah, very diverse, from the time between our debut and Deliverance. We did so much touring and so much playing, and we were so much out partying, being hyped on our own hype, basically. And so that's probably why it took so long time as well. But now, because 2020 ended up being the way it ended up being, I think we just have gotten really inspired by all this corona and lockdown and shit, because songs have never came up so fast and so good before.
No. It's weird. Yeah. That can get so inspired by the world shutting down.
That's a black metal thing, getting inspired by death and shit.
So, it sounds like pretty soon you guys are going to start working on some Borknagar covers, talking about winter and how everything's shut down and being in the forest. But thinking about that as well too, the fact that you guys have been so inspired this year. I mean, I feel that way when I'm listening to music too. Like, everybody who enjoys music does have the time this year to be able to really sit down and enjoy the albums rather than just being able to check out the singles. I mean, so many people have the time to be able to do it now, and this is one of those albums that I really feel like you need to listen to it from start to finish, because I don't see any dips in quality throughout the entire album. It just feels like from start to finish, every song is important to hear and something that you should listen to in full.
It's very, it's not random, the track list, to say. It's, both me and Lord here is, we really like to listen to an album in his
from start to finish, every time.
Yeah, so, for example, Paradigm, which is the final track of the album, we're thinking about doing it as a single or putting it higher up in the track list, but it feels like a really good ending of an album, so that's why we put it last, even though we know most people don't listen to
the last one. But same with Deliverance. That was like, this is the intro, Paradigm is the outro. It was like so naturally, it fits together, I think. The whole album is just ups and downs and ups and downs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for someone like me that really does enjoy listening to the full albums rather than just the singles, I love the fact that you guys actually did pay attention to what the track order was, and not just putting like Paradigm number 1 or number 2 and having it at the end because that's what's going to be best for the actual full album. And the fact that you guys cared about that so much, it's so cool to see.
Yeah, I think it's important.
Yeah, I can see many bands, just not necessarily bands, but artists putting, if they release 3 singles for an album, that's the first track, the second track, not the third, but the fourth track. That's the singles. The rest is just
leftovers, seems like.
I think that's a wrong way to listen to music, but many do it because it's so accessible with Spotify and your phone.
Hopefully this will contribute to make people start listening to albums in its entirety.
If we achieve that, I'm going to be very happy. You can dream.
I can see that happening with people being able to spend so much time listening to music. I mean, the fact that vinyl, came back from the dead and is outselling CDs nowadays, and, with people having the ability to be able to stream albums in its entirety, I really hope that does pay off and people actually do go out and buy the physical products, they buy the digital products, and if they are just checking out a band to see if they want to be able to enjoy it, being able to listen to the full album rather than just the couple songs on the album, because you might be missing out on so much, especially with you guys.
I think you have a really good point here with people like the vinyls are outselling the CDs, because when people are putting on the vinyl, they are listening to the album. You can't. It's not you when you're listening to vinyls. You don't really skip songs, do you? So,
and also it's a little bit more effort to put it on. So I think when you put it on, you listen it through.
Yeah. And again, just thinking about that, I'm really hoping that will happen for you guys too. I mean, like I was talking about before, I mean, I think it's just going to look so cool seeing that in physical form with the vinyl, with the gold and black on there, and then you're able to open that up, look at the vinyl, and then drop it in and hear what you guys are capable of. I think it's just going to be a great sonic experience for people, whether they've been around since the debut album or they're checking it out now.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so too.
Oh, totally. And with that, I actually think that's a great note to end on. Thank you guys once again for taking the time to be able to talk to me, talk about this amazing new album from Fight the Fight, Deliverance, coming out in just a little over a month now through Blacklight Media. I really love what you guys are doing here, and the fact that it feels like the band just continues to grow, and you already got me excited for the next album already, and the fact Deliverance isn't even out yet. So, again, I just want to thank you guys for taking the time to do this and being able to talk about everything that's going on in your worlds right now.
And you make sure to call us again when we're closing up on the next album.
And when all of this COVID-19 shit are over and we can go... we can go on tour in the US hopefully one time, and you should totally come out and hang out and have some beers and pre-listen to the third album.
I would love to do that. I mean, if you guys make it this way, if you're able to make it somewhere I can make it there, absolutely. I would love to be able to experience these songs live and being able to hang out with you guys and have some beers too. That just sounds perfect.
Our strongest thing is our live shows. We are I can not to self say
I think we're better live than we are making songs.
Yeah, and better live than on the album. So yeah.
Oh, awesome. That's a great note to end on. And again, thank you guys very much for taking the time to do this. I've had an amazing time being able to talk to you guys and talk about the album and what you guys have been up to. And it was great being able to do that. With that in mind, I should hopefully have this interview available tomorrow on YouTube. Oh. And then the week of release, I should be having this on my radio show with a track or two off the album in promotion.
Oh, sweet. Perfect. Hey, and I have to really say, though, I really enjoyed this interview. It was not like a typical interview, just
questions, answer.
I really enjoyed this one.
Yeah, me too. Make sure to send us the link when you upload it.